Crimson Desert is just about ready to launch. They're a week away on the 19th, I think, is when they launch. And Pearl Abyss just quietly updated the Steam page, adding in Denuvo DRM. This is after pre-orders had already gone through. This sparked a whole bunch of backlash from people who've been pretty focused on the game, with some saying that, Denuvo equals pre-order instantly, aggressively canceled. Pearl Abyss says that, you know, all of the basically benchmark videos and performance specs that they released were all created with the exact same implementation of Denuvo that's in the launch build. This includes the performance videos that were seen or showed off by Digital Foundry. And this made me wonder, there's a lot of people who they don't like DRM. I'm one of them. I've never been a fan of DRM. The way I look at DRM is all you're doing is punishing the paying customers, because almost always the pirates find a way around the DRM anyway, and so they get to play the game, but other people don't. Then there's the people who don't like DRM because they just don't want extra software installed on their hardware, which that's me too. I'm not interested in that. But then there's the people who are like, well, DRM usually makes the game run worse. And that's definitely a possibility. And just because the stuff that we saw from Digital Foundry had that particular version of Denuvo in there, well, that doesn't mean that the game couldn't run better without that stuff. So my question for you guys is, does Denuvo being put into a game make you pause before you buy a game? And secondly, will you be picking up Crimson Desert? So, Russ, I'm going to start with you.
So I'm just going to paste in a link to our notes right here in the chat. So there's this list on Steam that's like some guy created it, and it's just like, it's called Denuvo Watch, and it's like a list of all the games that have it, 369, right? And I'm just looking through and I'm like, Resident Evil Requiem is on here, Octopath Traveler 0. There's so many like beloved games on here. I've never once thought, like, does this have that Denuvo DRM? Like, it's not a thought I've had until right now. And maybe I'm just not, fully immersed in all this kind of stuff. Doom the Dark Ages has it, I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, I deal with DRM as it's presented to me, and sometimes it sucks. Like, I don't like that the Destiny one prevents me from playing it on Steam. Like, that sucks, or Steam OS. But in general, yeah, it's not something that's built into my buying decisions, unless it's something like that where it prevents me from playing it on an OS that I want to. That's usually the only time it rises to any sort of attention in my mind.
Okay, fair enough. Carrie, same questions. Does it make you hesitate before you buy a game?
It does, but it is also like how it does make me pause a bit, but it does not make me press on the brakes. I don't like, if there's a game that I just really want to play, I will just accept that it has Denuvo on it and buy it and then play it, and then hope that once months go by that they'll just remove it,
which they usually do after because they pay for like, we're going to license Denuvo for this amount of time, hoping that by then anybody who was going to steal it couldn't steal it.
Yeah, it's that whole like zeitgeist thing that, like, when the zeitgeist is happening, it's a spiked market increase of like people wanting to pirate. So it's like just making sure that you can try to secure those sales as fast as you can. And it doesn't matter if it gets cracked, because you're just trying to hold back the dam for a bit until like you can just even out the stream. Yes, it does make me pause, but it does look pretty cool.
Okay, so are you going to pick up Crimson Desert?
I'm confused by the game. It feels to me like this super awesome tech demo of a bunch of crazy crap that can happen that I don't know what the purpose of doing any of the crap is. Like, it's like, oh, you have a jetpack. Also, you can ride a dragon. You can do like, you can drift with a horse. And this is like all this stuff, like Digital Foundry, like John Linneman playing. I was just like enjoying his stuff, and he was just like talking about all the stuff. He's like, I was going this way and that way. And it's just like, that's really awesome. Insofar as like an open world game, there's a ton of possibilities that can happen. And I really like that idea. Some of the stuff that they're doing is like, it feels like they're just putting a bunch of crap in the kitchen. It's like, here's the kitchen sink and a bunch of other stuff. Go nuts. And I like that, but I would also like some type of story gel. Like there's a reason that I want to do some of these things. And I got no sense of that whatsoever by watching that, other than cool stuff happening.
So when I see Crimson Desert and I look at that game, it reminds me a lot of Breath of the Wild,
Yes.
which famously does not have the story stuff that you're talking about. Like like Kyle is going to be mad at me for saying so, but the story in Zelda is bullshit and doesn't matter. When you play Breath of the Wild,
That's a take.
your story is, what did you do? Like, okay, well, first I went over to the desert and I did this cool thing, and then, oh man, I saw this a Lionel or a line. What are they called again? Are they Lionels? Lionel? Yeah, okay.
I think it is.
I saw a Lionel and I went over and I fought him and he kicked my ass. So then next time I went over to the forest area and I did that instead. And I saw these guys and they needed my help taking this like little base. And like, you have these little moments. The story that you have is what happened to you, not what happened to the story in the game. The story feels like they tacked that on afterwards, which Nintendo admits that that's what they do.
So yes, so I don't disagree fully, but I would offer that Legend of Zelda the series has this.
I'm just talking about the new games,
right? Yeah, but I mean, like when you see a Lionel, like you're like, oh, I know what that is.
Right?
Like you have the foundation, you have the tapestry of what that is in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Crimson Desert, I don't know what's going on or what the importance or the significance of anything. So I have nothing to go on to, and I don't know what it is. And I feel like I don't really get a sense of, like, I have a sense of wonder, but like not so much, because like, who am I? What am I doing? And even as cheesy as it might sound, like I think I like how Bethesda kind of cheesily does all of their openers, where it kind of like gets the ball rolling of like, here's the stakes, and the stakes are super high, and go do whatever you want. So I just hope that there's like the first hour of gameplay sets the stakes and makes you understand what's there. And that's my only hope.
I think the Digital Foundry video with John Lennon, he says that the first hour, like he said, like the first few hours, maybe I'm confusing him with somebody else, but he was like, yeah, the first few hours are not the best hours, but then you start to get the feel for the game.
So the thing that I don't understand, because I was like reading between the lines of like a lot of stuff that was going on, apparently like people were like, I want to see the console version of this because it looks nuts. You're only showing the PC build. And they're like, okay, well, here's the PS5 Pro. And they're like, that's not quite what I was asking. And apparently they did not even give like the game. They didn't give a code to John Linneman. They literally shipped him a PS5 Pro with the game installed and said, play that. So he couldn't even be like sneaky and be like, oh, I'll play it on PS5 and all that. No. Here's the entire thing. Play this thing. So people are like, what the hell? Like, you know, why didn't you just show the, you know, like, so there's like this whole thing going in on the background is like, and on the PS5 Pro, it can chug. And, you know, there's lots of stuff going on, and the PS5 Pro is a big, you know, it's a beefy thing. So we're going to see what happens when the console version comes out. But ostensibly, it seems like it's a PC game.
Yeah. The thing for me about Denuvo definitely makes me pause, and it has caused me to not buy games in the past because I didn't want the game that much. You know what I mean? I was like, I looked at the game and I was like, oh, you know what? I'll pick this up. Oh, wait a second. You know what? You just gave me a reason not to. And so I've stepped back. But will it stop me from getting Crimson Desert? No, because I am super excited for Crimson Desert. All of the Zelda people that are super mad at me right now, I want you to know that Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time. Okay? It's my favorite game of all time. But when I watch footage of Crimson Desert, it makes me feel like Breath of the Wild is giving me we have Crimson Desert at home vibes. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, I want Crimson Desert. Well, we've got that at home. It's Breath of the Wild. Oh, yeah, but I want this one. And I'm
Right.
talking
Yeah.
about Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time. So I'm very excited for this game.
Right.
Okay. Rudy? Same questions.
Well, it's funny because Russ, thank you for sharing that list. I didn't even know that existed. And I'm sitting here like going through it. I'm just like, whoa, I had no idea that had it. And I'm just going through everything. I'm playing Requiem right now. And I had no idea that was there. But yeah, it doesn't really necessarily affect my decision, my purchasing decision, when it comes to actually, buying a game. It sucks though. And that there are some games where you tack that on and it does affect performance. We saw that with Resident Evil 4 Remake. They slapped that on and that did affect the performance of the game. So when they removed it, it made sense for them to remove that. And I also agree with Russ in the sense that if I do want to play a game and there is some sort of anti-cheat software that stops me from playing the game that I want to play on the platform that I want to play, then that hinders my experience, the paying customer. You shouldn't punish, you shouldn't reward bad behavior, or excuse me, the opposite. You shouldn't punish good behavior when stuff like this happens. So yeah, is that going to affect my purchasing decisions though? Probably not. I'm very selective with my time now in terms of like the games that I do play. And in terms of Crimson Desert, dude, I don't know what the heck is going on half the time. Like I've seen a couple of trailers here and there. Not sure what the story is, not sure what's going on. But the stuff that I have seen is kind of wild. And then when they release the recommended spec sheets, have you guys looked at that?
They're crazy low.
It's super low.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And I'm like, what sorcery is this? How is this looking this good and running what? Like, I don't know. I like the PC that I just built has like a 5080 in it. Like I wanted to, slap that in there and, really for Requiem more than anything else. But now I'm kind of just like, I would have been fine with my 3080. I would have been okay with that. And my AM4 socket.
You'll get all the extra bells and whistles. Like I think that
I know.
the Digital Foundry. So Digital Foundry has multiple videos about it. The first one is PC specs, and they wanted to fly a guy out. I forget which guy. They wanted to fly one guy out.
It's probably Alex.
It was Alex.
Alex Battalier.
Yeah. Okay. They wanted to fly him out, and he was like, "I can't fly out right now." So they said, "Okay, well, here's what we'll do. We're going to film based on what you tell us to do. So you tell us what you want us to do. We're going to film that for you, and we'll tell you exactly what specs we're using."
Wow.
And so that's what they did. And when the guys at Digital Foundry got the footage, they were like, well, this is very, very impressive. But they were not on, like they were on Ultra, but they weren't on Cinematic. And so when you look at what they have from Digital Foundry or on that video, those are not the best settings. And it's still unbelievably gorgeous. Like I can't wait. I'm not going to be able to run Cinematic or whatever, but somebody is, and I can't wait to see what it looks like. It's going to be bananas.
Yeah, so looking at the minimum specs, I would just brought it up as you guys are talking about it. So it says recommended RTX 2080 for the graphics card or a 6700 XT on the AMD side. That's fairly nice, The storage, though, they say 150 gigabytes available space. That always bothers me. Oh, man. It's going to take me all day to download.
The 2080 came out in 2018, by the way. Like that's a very old card, and it's like that's the minimum specs. That's crazy.
That's the recommended specs. Minimum spec is GTX 1060.
Oh, let me see when that came out. GTX 1060. Let's take bets. Carrie, when did it come out?
Oh, he'll tell you the exact date.
2014, I want to say.
Okay,
I was gonna say 2015.
No. Yeah, 1060. No, because I got my 1080 Ti in 2016. So I'm gonna say 2016.
I said 2015.
I hate Carrie so much. He got it right.
He
Carrie, what month did it come out?
He got it right.
I'm trying to think of when I got it because I got my 1080 Ti for $625, which was a fantastic deal, and I think I got it in March. Crap, I don't remember, but I know
July.
It's 2016. Oh yeah,
July. So he was wrong. Finally! This was just a small part of my podcast, the Nerd Nest podcast. And if you enjoyed it, then do me a favor and click on that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, then I think you should check out the link in the description down below the like button. It's going to take you to the full podcast so you can check out the entire conversation and a whole lot more. If that sounds good, I hope to see you over there. Stay rad, and thanks for watching.